and just caught all kinds of just fantastic, freaky stuff that looks like it was either drawn by Dr. Seuss or Picasso.
Hey everyone, John here from the Cast and Spear podcast, and today we have back on the show Steve Wozniak, and today he's going to talk about how he's able to fish 100 days plus a year, why dogged persistence matters when it comes to species fishing, and his top 3 places to fish in the world. Get ready, you're in for a treat. This episode is exciting. Please welcome back Steve Wozniak.
Oh, geez. So, to be fair, I've been fishing in 91 countries. Okay, so, it's picking one above the other. I mean, I've had some spectacular fishing, a lot of places. I've had some complete disasters in others. Australia, but that's sort of like saying, America is a great fishing spot because it's a big darn place. I just have 2 words for people who don't think it's that big: Mercator's projection. So Sydney, in terms of convincing your wife, for example, or partner, to go someplace and lump in a few days of fishing, Sydney's pretty awesome because it's such an amazing tourist destination and it's a springboard to all the other cool stuff in Australia. The Great Barrier Reef, obviously, is just awesome. But the Great Barrier Reef, one of the ugly, untold secrets for this is, it's always windy and horrible there. So it looks like such a gorgeous place, except almost everything can kill you. From the octopi to the sea slugs to the stonefish to the snakes. So it is a place to be careful, but that's one for sure. But it's a huge place that divides up into 7 or 8 or 10 big ecosystems, all of which have got their own really cool sets of fish. Thailand is a definitely underrated one. Absolutely full of fish, especially for somebody who wants to go through the heartache of identifying stuff that is not necessarily very easy in any kind of book. Like North America Freshwater, you've got Peterson's Guide. And Peterson's Guide will give you almost anything you could possibly catch in North America. Now, I still believe that the 50 pages of Shiner should be combined down to about 1 page of, nondescript silver Shiner, that has something like, has fins, is a color, is found in the water. Because some of these things you just cannot, they all start to look pretty much alike, and they get exasperating to identify. But there's no such book for Thailand. There's a couple, like Dr. Maurice Cadilat's book, his book is okay. But by and large, you're just kind of taking a scientific, a swag at a lot of those because, they're just not great resources. But that place, and there's so many cool things to catch. There's great river fishing. There's great ocean fishing if you know where to go. And Francois Elias is a Frenchman who's had set up shop there 25 years ago, probably. It's kind of the key to all of it. You could go and find local guys and not do very well, but he seems to be a wonderful translation between those. So we got those 2. There are just so many other places. The Amazon. I mean, just, if you throw in a freshwater place there, a pure freshwater place, you just don't know what the heck you're ever going to catch there. From, gigantic catfish to these just amazing peacock bass to all kinds of different species of piranha. Not a place to go wading. It's just an amazing place. But then I could say that for so many others. The United States is full of places. Florida, both salt and fresh water is just stuffed with amazing stuff. Southern California. But I mean, we just did the Ozarks. Me and Martini Arostegui just did a week in the Ozarks, and just caught all kinds of just fantastic, freaky stuff that looks like it was either drawn by Dr. Seuss or Picasso.
When was that? Was that pretty recent?
Yeah, that was September 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I also went fishing on the 15th and got the Plains top minnow and the mottled sculpin which that is 1827 was the modeled sculpin.
Out of all the days in the year, how many do you estimate that you're fishing?
Okay, so there are, I probably have something to do with fishing on close to 100 days a year because it's almost all my vacation. And so, I do get, a fair bit of vacation. And it might just be that, on the way home from work, which I will catch this damn thing one of these days, but there's a slough and a state park that has long jaw mudsuckers. And I if there's high tides and I'm driving home from the office, I will stop there for 45 minutes and not catch one. And then, try it again in a couple of months. So 80 is probably a little just, full days, probably, at least 60, I mean, cause you got, like I didn't fish this last weekend because I was in home improvement hell. Who knew there were that many? Yeah, grumble. But yeah, there are apparently like 10 million paint colors, and you have to look at all of them before you can actually paint.
Yeah.
And but we did some of that, which is just oh joy. So, but yeah, I get out a ton, and that's also the trick to it is just having a bait in the water, and if you can stick it out and fish an hour longer. I was on a trip in July with a good species hunter, nice guy. But he was done by about 5, 6 o'clock. He was done. It was like a reasonable restaurant that had salads and a beer. Which, I don't need the salad. I'll just hit Dairy Queen at 10 o'clock. And so, but we also I caught a couple of things, and it was slow fishing because we'd had a lot of rain, but, I stuck it out, caught a couple of things that he didn't. And, he mentioned that. It's like, wow, that is, just that stupid dogged persistence, which sometimes is more stupid than persistence. But, being the last guy out of the water, the last guy on the dock, the last guy on the ramp, over time makes a difference. It's an odds game. And, the longer you got the right bait in the right part of the water, the right time, the more chance you've got of getting something. And, there's a lot of species on my list that, I just kind of randomly caught one of. And, always thrilled to do that. But, that just is a time commitment.
Well, that does it for this episode of the podcast. What were your thoughts? Let me know. Go to castandspear.com/contact. And let me know what your thoughts so far on the series with Steve has been, and I'll definitely relay it to him. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe so that you never miss a future episode, and tell 3 of your fishing buddies about it so that you can spread the word and we can make this the best fishing podcast on the web. So with that, keep those lines tight, everyone. See ya. Oh, one more thing before you go. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the Cast and Spear newsletter. Go to castandspear.com, enter your email in the little pop-up window, and we'll make sure we keep you posted on any cool videos and articles that we release on the site weekly. All right. Again, take care.